with my baby.
Riding with my boo.
Riding with my baby.
Riding with my boo.
All right, so we are on our way to Colonial Beach. First time out with the new paint scheme of the Jugaboo. Not sure how the weather's gonna hold up, but we're gonna see what happens. We just left out of rain, so we'll see what happens. So we'll get back to you. Got anything?
And it's a Friday night.
Just got paid. Money in my pocket. Feeling great.
Right.
You know you can do some songs. All right, so we'll get back to you. All right, so we didn't race because of the rain and everything, but you know, we got something even better, I believe. We're here with the owner of Custom Tees Motorsports Park, one of the nicest guys I've ever met. The first time I met him, I felt like I'd known him for years. Now I have, but the first time I met him, you know, he treated me like we were old friends. He's got one of the greatest grudge-friendly track in this area, which is the Virginia area. I would even say Maryland area, even North Carolina area. He's just a great guy. So I'm going to introduce you to Larry Thompson, the owner and operator of Custom Tees Motorsports Park. How you doing, sir?
How you doing there, sir?
All right.
How you doing?
I am great. I'm great.
I appreciate this interview.
Yeah, no problem. My first question is, how did you get interested in racing?
My uncle is my grandfather back in the 60s and 70s. They's always come here to Colonial Beach at the time, race on Sundays after church, and sparked my interest, you know. And we did till today, from the 60s to 70s into the 80s.
Oh, so you know strength.
Yes, yes, been doing it all my life. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep, up to now, non-stop.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Kind of reminds me of my story.
Yeah.
My father raced, and
My uncle
I was
was-
almost born at the track, so maybe that's why we got such a kinship,
Yes,
because
sir.
we got similar backgrounds as
Yeah,
far
every
as
Sunday
that
we
goes.
come here after church. We come to the racetrack.
Oh, okay, all right. Have you ever owned a race car?
Yes.
Okay.
Back when I graduated from college, and I graduated in 1986. In 87, I bought a gentleman car named Billy Alley out of Richmond. He had a Mustang 2 black, and I bought it from him.
Okay.
That's my first car. I never drove it, but I just owned it.
Okay. Who drove it?
Ham Tate,
Okay.
he drove for me, you know.
Okay.
And my uncle, Bo and Earl, you know, family. It's like a family thing, that's all.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of family, how many siblings do you have?
I just had one sister.
One sister.
One sister. I have, for kids, I have 6 kids. I have
Okay.
2 boys and 4 girls.
Yeah, because your son is always
Yeah,
here.
yes, he is.
Always here.
Yeah.
Okay. What made you decide to become a track owner?
It kind of like fell in my lap because the former owner, Curtis Stewart, decided that he couldn't get people to come here at the racetrack. And he asked if I want to buy the racetrack. And he thought he was joking with me. And I was serious when he said, sure, I like to try to buy it. And then he puts the numbers together and we had an agreement and I brought it from him.
Okay, so were you interested in ever becoming a track
Yeah, I
owner?
always was. I just felt I never could
Okay.
afford it. So,
Okay.
And he kind of worked the deal with me where I got a chance to buy it.
Okay.
I do own it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know you've been around a long time, but as a promoter, how did you get into promoting?
I have my race car. You know, I have a t-shirt. That's how Custom Tees came. I have a t-shirt business
Okay, that was gonna
called
be
Custom Tees.
one of my questions.
So in
Okay.
order to sell shirts at the racetrack, you had to be on a race car. We had to be a vendor. I couldn't afford the vendor fee, so she was buying a race car, and that's why I ended up buying a car so I could have a little spot to promote my t-shirt business.
Oh, okay.
And I was interested in doing. I did a lot of people cars and stuff or business and stuff. That's how I got started.
Okay.
I really got the race car just for the promote my t-shirt business.
Okay, so if anybody wanted to get t-shirts,
Yes.
you the man to see. What's your phone number too?
202-213-3528. It's called Custom Tees of DC. That's the name of the website.
Can you give it to him one more time?
Custom
in the back.
CustomTSDC.com. That's for the t-shirt business, you know. And then as far as promotion business, called CustomRacing.com. I got into promotion because just put on different shows and stuff, and I was like, man, just, you know, I wanted to promote racing. I thought I could bring everybody together and have a good race, and I did. My first one I did here. Then I did a big one like 25 years ago down BMP. It was called the Francis Butler Showdown. Then I started doing stuff with Rodney Jones down in BMP. It was like North versus South. And then after that, I branched off up here at Buzz Creek and stuff, you know.
Okay.
So that's how I've been doing for like close to 26 years now.
Okay. See, now I thought I knew all the answers to the questions that I was going to ask, but I didn't know you did all that. I knew about the Maryland and
when Rodney Jones
and
Brian
North versus South. But
Okay. We had a long time ago. It was a race called Francis Butler Showdown in 2003. That's my first race at VMP.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I done learned a little something along with the viewers there. What are the pros and cons of owning a track?
The pros is you can promote. Me, I like promoting. I believe in customer service, and it's not about skin color. I like everybody coming. I fell in love with grudge racing and drag racing because no matter what, everybody get along. We have a good time. And I just love racing, you know. The cons, and I also used to travel all over the country selling my t-shirts. That I have to be here all the time. So that's, you know, a lot of people miss me. I used to go to Florida. I go to Tennessee. Like this weekend, everybody in Alabama. I would go to sell t-shirts. I would go do stuff.
Right.
You know, I love the car, and you know, I go make a little spot and just promote my racing and stuff and my t-shirt business. You know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I remember when you first bought the track. Mm-hmm. We wanted to come up here and it was a motorcycle race. So I called you and you're like, well, I'm in Florida right now.
Yeah.
And you was like, but hey, if you go up there, I'll maybe I shouldn't say this, but he was like, well, I'll give you free entry. You just going up there. I was like, well, I don't know if I'm going. Well, what's your cash app? I said, okay, I'll give you my cash app, but I don't know if I'm going. Next thing I know, he done cash app me the money.
Yeah.
When I tell you this is one of the best guys in this racing game, and the reason I'm doing this interview, and I had to have him as the first interview, is because he is good for the game, first of all, but he tries to make everybody feel welcome. Now let me get back to what I was saying, but I just can't say
and I was
enough
so glad you interviewed me because my goal is to get people to come to my track at least one time. You know, people always never been here before, and I think we've done a lot of changes since people been here. I've been here going on 7 years now, so a lot of improvements coming. You come here. You know, we have a good time here. Yeah.
The first time I came here, I was hooked.
Yes, sir.
First time she came here, you can't see my camera person, but it's my wife, my Miss riding with my baby. But the first time she came here, she was hooked.
And like our food, now I told you, we got catering food. Like we got pork chops, we got baked chicken, fried chicken, we got string beans, we got collard greens. We try to make people have a good time.
Right.
You know, like ribs, we got bone fish.
Y'all hear this, right? Y'all hear this menu, right?
So we come
and eat.
Yes.
And get some racing while you here.
Yeah, while you here. That's the goal. That is the goal.
What would you like to tell the younger racers and track owners?
My goal is to try to get the young racers off the street because the cars today, the street cars they have are so fast. And that's why we try to provide drag racing for them. I just call a burnout pit on there so they like being in the parking lot, spin them down. So I just try to get them off the street and make it safe. We got it, bring it closer to the fence area where they can spin and have a good time.
So was that new for this year?
Well, we had it for like 4 years, but we just got approved. So we got to put the barriers around there. We just got to pave over there so kids can come and have a good time. That's our goal, is to get them off the streets because if they don't have a track to go to, they're gonna do it in the street. You know what I'm saying? And cars are so fast. The Mustangs, the Corvettes. I mean, every manufacturer's got a fast car. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I mean,
out the factory.
Oh my God, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I look at it.
Yeah.
And here you can learn safety. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yes. You know.
And I know, and one thing I do know from being here, because my driver, this was the first track he came to, and I felt comfortable with him driving. He never raced before, but y'all was so patient.
Yeah, that was
with working him in, you know. And all I did was I was like, look, this is his first time, and your crew was like, you know, okay, you know, you know. And even with my wife, they let her come up there so she could see how to, because a lot of times it's just me and her.
Yes, sir.
And y'all let her.
It's about customer service. Trying to
Exactly,
teach.
exactly.
That's what I try to.
And you don't get that at a lot of tracks.
Yeah, customer service go a long way.
Yeah. So, why do you think it is that you are in customer service so much? Is it because of the t-shirt business, or?
Well, I retired from the Pentagon. I did 22 years there. I was a contractor, being in the military and the yes sir, yes ma'am, and my parents, they raised me that way.
Right.
Being in the church is still like God first. My wife, she a deacon. It's just, keep the Lord first. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't think I'm better than nobody. I just try to, talk to people. Just have conversation like when I met you.
Right.
Just try to, just have good people around me. That's all I say.
Right. What would you tell the future track owners or wannabe track owners?
Well, my goal is, even this track now, I would love to have like a mentoring apprenticeship here. I'm trying to get a group together, so that's what I call Custom Tees Motorsports Park Incorporated. We have a board, we have a foundation. We can learn the aspects of business and the racing in the motorsports industry. I would love to teach kids about how to run a track, how to become a manager, you know what I'm saying, besides just racing. That's why we put on events and try to have other groups come together and learn, you know what I'm saying. That's my goal, That's the main thing, Somebody might be interested in becoming a track owner, track manager, give some skills, I'm trying to partner with the local high schools and stuff like that. Or, like we have a program we're doing the summertime, they can come and work in the summertime.
Okay.
Trying to raise money for, like we're doing stuff this year for the youth football team and stuff here, So we're trying to figure what stuff we can do to interest the kids, because most kids, their attention span, if they're not the computer game, so the whole trying to get in the race stuff,
Okay.
and teach them how to tune on a laptop or be up in the tower, how the tower works. So, so that's our goal.
Yeah, okay, now that brings me to another question.
Mm-hmm.
You were saying about raising money for what was that you were raising
Well,
money for?
it's called Western Youth Association, and like at the Northern Neck Baptist Association, I send kids to come to college, college tours. So we raise money so they can, for the parents don't cost that money. They can, like we sent somebody 3 weeks ago, they went to Duke University and went to North Carolina Central, you know what I'm saying? And they get to tour different colleges and stuff,
Okay, because I noticed you do a lot of, like the cancer walk.
Yes, sir.
Stuff,
And that's
you're always giving back.
Good love and good to me, and hopefully, that's the goal. I just hope it can be. I wish it would be bigger. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't realize that when we do stuff, the cancer walk is the purpose of, we raise money and we try to give it to a racer that has cancer, or a wife or somebody in the family, so you can take them out to dinner or do stuff for them. Give them a special day.
Right. So the money doesn't go to an organization you don't know nothing about. It's going to.
We give some money to the cancer.
Okay.
But we like to give people to know.
You want people to see.
Yes.
Where.
That's our goal.
Because a lot of times you don't always know where
the money goes. Right.
And so at least is going. Some of it's going to.
Yeah, that's why we know. Yeah.
So say again where the money is going.
Oh, the money goes to the Cancer Society, or we can find somebody in a racing community, somebody's wife or husband that has cancer, and we give them part of proceeds. We've done a lot of races over the years, One year we brought a gentleman in a wheelchair. We sent people on trips and stuff, a lot of dinners we paid for,
Right.
And what was the name of the organization that you sent the children to the college?
Okay, Northern Neck Baptist Association. Okay, it's under Pastor Joseph Hayden. I have a foundation called Keep the Wheels Turning. It's for, it's for the students, STEM program, wounded warriors, first responders, and for cancer patients. So we try to do 4 or 5 events a year to raise money to give back right then and there,
Mm-hmm. So if people want to donate to those organizations, is there somewhere that you
if
want
you go
them?
on my website under, you go to Custom Tees Motorsports Park. It's called ctmotorsportspark.com. And then you're doing a drop down. It's called Keep the Wheels Turning. And we are 501c, which is 100% write off. And you make a donation, we're sure where your donation is going. We do a lot of stuff. One other project I'm hoping is I have own land outside the track. I'm trying to build my first motorsports museum. You know what I'm saying? For local heroes, guys like you, people, you know, it don't have to necessarily come somebody famous.
Right.
There's a lot of guys that are dead and gone, like the Burt Jacksons,
Right.
like Scooby, I mean, like Hoover and stuff like that.
Right.
You know, just tell the story and keep the memory alive. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I lost my buddy Ham Tate. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are dead and gone. And I was like, man, it gotta be a famous museum, but I want to do something for the local guys. You know what I'm saying? Black, white, whoever.
Right.
Something just to remember people by. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
there's a lot of people that have contributed to.
I've been doing it a long time.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some good guys, some good guys in the sports.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know, you said it earlier about, you know, with racing, drag racing, grudge racing, it don't matter what color you are.
Oh,
you know, everybody gets along. I think that's what made me fall in love with it.
Right.
Also, or stay in love with it, because I've been doing this for a long time.
And
also, you know, so again, I think we think a lot alike or have similar experiences. So you know, I think that's why that kinship is.
And
there.
I appreciate the interview,
You
man.
know,
Hopefully this thing go a long ways.
Yeah.
Because with the museum, you talk to kids, hey, do you know who Carol Carter was? Do you know who such and such is?
Mm-hmm.
You never heard of them.
Right.
But we got a museum talk about a little story of them. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I first met Hoover. Hoover was my man. He always wanted to grudge racing.
Right.
He had that good disposition. You know what I'm saying? Check on people.
Right.
You'd be surprised at people that, you know,
Right.
that were good guys that's dead and gone. You know?
And you never know who you're gonna touch. You know, and like what do they say about history? If you don't know history, you repeat it.
Yeah, exactly.
Repeat the mistake. So it's good to have museums.
Yeah, that's why I would call it Motorsports Museum.
Yeah.
And people, you don't have to be one of all these championships. I want someone, local people that's dead and gone.
Right.
You got a story, people you know, we can just, and each year we're going to vote on it and have a, you know, like a black and white attire, give money to people's scholarships, you know, and deal about the motorsports stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what I was trying to do, like with Ford, Chevrolet, or mobile. Everybody got these little high-powered cars. How you tune them? Everybody had a laptop. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So stuff like that. That's what I always thought about. You know.
Yeah, and that's another thing. It's the technology of these things now is.
Oh my God!
If back in the day, you didn't know how to just dual point. You know, for y'all young people, y'all might not know what we're talking about.
Now it's laptop.
Yeah, now it's tuning and laptop and all that stuff. So yeah, it has come a long way. So it would be good to see the history of.
And that's
where it came from,
yes,
you know, and on a local level.
Yes.
You know.
And these kids, that's what I'm saying. My goal is to just, now I think I'll get more kids interested in racing.
Right.
Because I feel like most racers, they were about to hire and don't forget about these kids.
Right.
You know, these kids are spending, these kids got $100 cars.
Right.
They have Lamborghinis, their parents buy them BMWs and, you know, new Camaros, new Corvettes, they come cruise up here.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, some of the stuff that comes through these days.
Yeah, like, your parents brought you that. I said, my God.
But, you know, one thing I'm going to get back to is that it don't matter what you got. When you come to Custom T's Motorsports Park, I don't care what you got, they are going to make you feel welcome.
That's how I go. That's how I go.
You know, my car, you guys seen it last year, my car was all primed up, different colored doors and all that stuff. And he always treated me like I was a high dollar racer, you know, like I had $1 million outfit, you know. So, you know, you get a chance, come on through here to Custom T's Motorsports Park and they'll treat you right.
I appreciate it.
What's y'all saying? Where the bite is right?
Where the bite is right.
I'm going to tell you, you're going to hook.
And we always polite.
Yeah, always polite.
The bite is right, always polite.
So with that, is there anything else you would like to add?
Hope people just give us a chance. Like I said, look at our website. Our schedule on our website is ctmotorsportspark.com. And just see some stuff we're doing, you know.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, my friend.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate the interview. Thank you.
All right.
I appreciate that.
And you guys, y'all have a good night. We didn't get to show you the racing because of the rain, but I think we did a pretty good job of showing you what this place is all about. While we were doing the interview with Larry, unbeknownst to us, the rain had stopped and his crew was actually out there drying the track. So we did get to make a couple of passes, and so I'm going to show you those right now.
Look, they the same light. to show me something.
No, I just tell you walk up there to the bar you want to leave.
Oh, okay. Look, I thought you were gonna say, oh, he's supposed to be in a line or something. So I was like, let me record.